You mentioned in those players fitting it, where's Hughton? The transfer speculation surrounding him won't go away. Is he in your thinking for the squad for Everton?
He's here, he's training, and he's fit, very much so.
And the club have come out this week, the chief executive, saying he's not for sale. In fact, you want to build your squad rather than sell players. But since the chief executive made that announcement, have Aston Villa been in with an inquiry?
I think I've been fairly consistent in the way that we've dealt with things here at this football club, and what will always happen, there will always be inquiries. We'll make inquiries about certain players, and clubs will make inquiries about some of our players. It's normal part of the game. The correct way and a consistent way for us is that, you know, they're generally private conversations between the clubs, and that will always remain the same. And we've been very consistent also that when there is at any stage anything to say about anybody, whether one of our players or some other club's players, when it's the appropriate time, then we'll make that announcement. But we've been fairly consistent in the way that we've dealt with things.
As far as Wes Hughton is concerned, how important is he to Norwich?
Well, he's a player here that first and foremost is under contract, and he's a player, apart from the recent cup game, that's played in the last two games, and he is as important as every other player in this squad, you know. And what we are trying to achieve here is, of course, to try to be as good a team as we can and to be in the best position in the league that we can. And for that to be the case, we want to have as strong a squad as we can. And as I said, at this particular moment, you know, Wes is very much part of the squad.
And what does he bring? What are his special qualities, and what's he like around the place?
Well, I think most would be aware of the type of player that he is. He's been here for long enough, and he is, of course, that continuity player in advanced midfield, and I said a player that's been involved, of course, in the last couple of league games.
You talked about strengthening the squad, bringing players in. I have to throw a couple of names at you because they've been bandied around in the papers. Johnny Hughton, the Everton defender, who could well be facing Norwich on Saturday.
Well, he of course is one of a few names that have been associated with ourselves and other clubs, and that's part of what we have to expect, of course, in the media. They're the sort of things that we will hear about, that you, as I say, have to accept, because certainly as we go further into this window, then the names will become more, not only for us but for every other club. And as I said, we've been fairly consistent in the way that we've announced anything that we need to announce.
So 9 days into the window, are you any closer to signing anybody, whether you tell us who it is or not?
Well, we are working hard. It's if you look at the amount of business that's been done in this window so far, it's an indication of how tough it is to make sure that you're making the right decisions, bringing in the right players, making the right inquiries. It is a difficult period, and we're certainly working as hard as we can. And that's work that's gone on for quite some time. But they have to be right decisions for us.
You've had a shortage of quality on the wing because of Elliot Bennett's injury. Wilfred Zaha's another name that's come up. Can we read anything into that? Well,
I think it's probably a natural one. It's not only in the wide area. We've had some difficulties in midfield for a while now, and of course at one stage we had all four midfield players that have been here over the last few months. Of course, David Fox has now come back, but we've had all four out for one game, and some, of course, for a longer period. So I think there will obviously be name association and position association, but that we have to expect, and that we have to make sure and get on with.
But are you saying we can't expect an announcement in the next few days then of any newcomers?
Well, as I say, we're working as hard as possible. The correct way, as you know, is always to make sure that if we're telling you something, it's something that's fact because of course the large majority of what we read is certainly not fact.